Yesterday, I discussed the things that needed to get better if Georgia's going to win a national title. So, for example, if Gunnar Stockton is great, Georgia will be better. If the defensive line is really good, Georgia will be contenders. Well, I talked about the things that you need to be a little bit concerned about if you're thinking about the 2025 Georgia Bulldogs. Partially because it's kind of a mystery, right? We don't know about the front seven. We don't really know about Gunnar Stockton. These are the things you don't have to worry about. I think that there are three in particular where if you're a Georgia fan, if you're a college football fan, if you're me or media, whatever, you look at the 2025 Georgia Bulldogs and you say, those are the things that are going to be pretty good. They are not the units, the points of concern if you're talking about a title contender, which Georgia should be this season. So, my three things here in just a second. Ryan Curley from Dawg Post, welcome in. Welcome to the channel if you are new. If you are not new, thank you for coming back. But it's important that you go to dawgpost.com as well. Make sure you are checking that out, the website. A lot of things happen there. Just got an email about fall camp starting on Thursday, the last day of July. The season's coming, guys. The season's coming, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Join us and be a part of the journey on here, on the website, on our newsletter. It's just the best way. Look, this is the best time of year. Football is almost back. Football is almost back. Three things. The easiest one. This is a wide open layup. That linebacker unit, I don't think you should be worried about it at all. I think that this is one of the best linebacker units in college football. It's not close. It's among the three best. I think you look at Clemson's, you say it's pretty good. You look at LSU's, you say it's pretty good. I think you look at Georgia's. I think you look at Texas, their linebacker room. Those are the four that pop into my head at the beginning. But Georgia, arguably the best and the most talented room there. C.J. Allen, Raylan Wilson, and more specifically the inside linebackers, right? Those two, Chris Cole, Justin Williams, all can kind of play a hybrid role. They got a true freshman, Zayden Walker, you may see in some garbage time. You think about the outside linebackers, you got Gabe Harris Jr., you got Elo Madozi, the transfer. This is a unit that I don't think there should be any concern about. Is going to be a productive one, is going to be a talented one. 4 or 5 stars, all of those players. Gabe Harris and Elo Madozi, not as high, but former, Gabe Harris is former 4-star. But the inside guys, all 5 stars or borderline 5 stars, depending on which site you looked at when you look at recruiting. So that's what you get out of the inside linebacker room. C.J. Allen is getting tabbed as a Butkus Award watch list type of player. I think that all of the linebackers are that quality. Just none of them have played as much as C.J. Allen. And you look at it and you say, how does Georgia do this? How do they get away with being able to be this good in the linebacker room again when you lose 3-year starter Smile Munden, a guy who I think can make an impact in the NFL, and you lose another 3-year starter / rotation player and Butkus Award winner and first-round pick in Jalen Walker? How do they do it? Because of the recruiting, right? They win a lot of those battles for the top linebackers and they develop them. They didn't win the battle, at least for now, for Tyler Atkinson out of Gwinnett County going to Texas. But they're still bringing these players in on a year-in and year-out basis. And look, C.J. Allen, returning leading tackler for Georgia. He had 76 last year. It was second only to Malachi Starks by 1 tackle. Raylan Wilson had 47 tackles, a sack and a half, kind of rotating with Smile Munden. Now he'll be a little bit more of a full-time player, although I believe Chris Cole, who got some time as a freshman, and Justin Williams, another player from his class, are going to get on the field and play and be good players for Georgia. So we'll stick with defense. The second thing, unit, position group, that you don't need to be worried about if you're Georgia, I think these are the things that are definitely going to be good. To me, borderline without question, the secondary for Georgia. Just move back a level in the defense. Go from the linebackers, move it back to the secondary. I talked about the defensive front and the edge rushers and there needing to be improvements and there being concerns about that. The 2 levels behind it, I don't think you should be concerned about with this Georgia football team. Dalen Everett's return was very important for Georgia. He represented the Dogs at Media Days. He is a candidate to be a first-team All-SEC player. I think he's a candidate to be an All-American at cornerback. There are some good corners. He's one of the better corners in college football. He's experienced, borderline five-star type of player, long arms, has shown up in really big moments, right? Texas. I thought he showed up in a couple of big moments during the 2023 season, which was his first as a starting corner. So I think that his return mattered a lot. On the opposite side of him, it's either going to be Daniel Harris, Ellis Robinson, or DeMello Jones, whichever of the three it ends up being, and I think you'll see some rotating there. You're going to see a talented player. If you're seeing Daniel Harris, you're seeing one of the biggest corners in college football, right? 6'2", 6'3", long arms. If you're seeing Ellis Robinson, you're seeing the highest rated corner ever out of high school. If you're seeing DeMello Jones, you're seeing probably the most versatile athlete of the three of them. I think they're set at the second corner. I don't know that the person starting game 1 will be the person starting game 5. I think that could change. When you look at the safeties and the nickelbacks, Janelle Aguero is the most likely star, right? That nickelback player, a guy they've been grooming for that position for a couple of years now. And when they do that, things work out. They did it with Javon Bullard, and it worked out, right? Janelle Aguero is a way higher prospect than Javon Bullard was, but Javon Bullard's a dog. And then you move back into the other safeties. There's some competition. There's no competition with KJ Bolden, who is another bona fide stud, future first-round pick most likely, potential All-American. That's the buzz KJ Bolden gets. Why? Because the talent is there, and he showed it as a true freshman, totaling 59 tackles, an interception, a sack, a pass deflection, right? He did a little bit of everything and played from the jump as a true freshman. He's ready, and now he's expected to be one of the leaders of the team as just a true sophomore. There will be competition with Ja'Cory Thomas, who is now a 4-year player for the Georgia Bulldogs, waiting for his turn to start, fighting for his turn to start. But Georgia brought in 3 transfer safeties. This is part of why I think you feel good. They've got players and they've got options. And I don't know that you'll see that typically they play 5 and they play like a nickel-style defense with the secondary on a lot of downs. But I don't think that the 5 you see game 1 will necessarily be the 5 you see, like I said, game 5, 6, 7, whatever it is. They've got options. Adrian Maddox, Jalen Harris, and Zion Branch from USC. They're going to be fighting with Ja'Cory Thomas for that other safety spot. Probably fighting with Janelle Aguero a little bit for that star, for that nickelback spot. Competition is good, and you're going to see a lot of competition during fall camp. And I'm very excited in the next week or two to be able to bring you what I've seen in practice, and hopefully that's an idea of the starting unit. I think when you flip it to offense, and this is the unit out of the 3 that I'm discussing that I probably am the least confident in, but also that doesn't mean I'm not confident in them. It's the tight ends. Oscar Delp, Lawson Lucky, and Jaden Riddell will likely be your tight end 3 for the Georgia Bulldogs this coming season. Well, Oscar Delp has now been around a while, right? This is year 4 for Oscar Delp. Oscar Delp is a national champion for Georgia. He contributed. He is a longtime starter now for Georgia, a multi-year starter. He has bulked up a lot, and he has changed his game to being a more well-rounded tight end. And then you get Lawson Lucky, who's a little bit more of a typical receiving tight end, a receiving threat. Gunnar Stockton likes to go to the tight ends. At least that's what we saw when we saw the Sugar Bowl and we saw the Texas game and the SEC Championship, and when Gunnar Stockton was out there, you saw him go to the tight ends. I think that they're going to rely on those guys more this season, right? Combined, they had about 700 yards and 7 touchdowns. I think they want more production out of that tight end room this season. Jaden Riddell being your 3rd guy, I think helps a lot because he might be more athletic than both of them. And of course, they've got tight end depth behind that. And you may see them rotating a little bit with some of the younger players. But those 3, it's hard to beat what they have in terms of a top 3 tight ends. And no one's been able to beat that for 4 years now, right? Same situation, I think, most likely for Georgia in 2025. Those are the things you don't need to be worried about. There are things to be concerned about. There are aspects for Georgia we don't necessarily know about yet. But I think those 3 are ones that you feel confident will help them win a national title or at least compete for that this coming season. Newsletter, website, YouTube, Dawg posts, Ryan Curley, thanking you for watching. Go to all those places. Stick on here. Thank you for watching again. Repeating myself, but I appreciate y'all.